The Nissan Xterra, the 2002. You either love it or hate it, depending if you had to put a lot of money into it. This is mine. We're going to talk about it. Alright guys, welcome to my channel. This is Earthling vehicle reviews. This is my 2002 Nissan Xterra that I picked up for 400 bucks, and it's been pretty much fully restored. As you can see in the front there, we got the nice looking headlights. We do not have the fog light package on the bottom because this is actually just a SE version. It did come with 265/70 15-inch tires from the factory. Of course, these are new tires that I put on there. We got some little 4x4 stickers that I put on here to make it look kind of cute. And of course, we have the mountain stickers on the back to make it look like it's really cool in case you actually do live in the mountains. Overall, the body on the outside, the exterior is in really good shape for a Northeast car. Hardly any rust whatsoever. The frame is actually in great shape. And as we take a look at the frame underneath, just some superficial rust. These things were built. These actually have real frames all the way back, and you can see hardly any rust whatsoever. The ride on this thing is actually pretty good. Of course, we have the old leaf springs for a little bit of mountain fun. Now, some of the things I've had issues with are the lug nuts. They're easy to strip out. They're easy to cross-thread when you put them on, and these have 6 on each wheel. Upper and lower ball joints. Well, obviously, I replaced those when I got the vehicle because they were kind of a little on the bad side. I didn't want nothing unsafe, so taking care of that really made the steering improve greatly. On the front here, we just have some chips, some road chips, little rocks, debris flying up. Other than that, the body, you really can't complain. This is the original paint job on this 2002. Got the rack on the top here. Of course, this storage bin here on mine is missing. I never did have that, but overall, the aerodynamic of it there looks pretty nice. See, the air hits it and goes over the top, so you really don't get a lot of wind resistance from this vehicle, which is pretty nice, especially cruising down the highway. Although cruising down the highway on a windy day at 65, 70, well, yeah, it's a little sketchy at times. You can feel it blowing all over the road, but also it's not very quiet on the inside unless you're on a really rough road. But if you're on a really smooth road, it's pretty average for the sound quality on the inside. We got a good old trailer hitch there, which is nice. And on the bottom, we got a full-size spare, which is really nice. In order to get this spare down, we do have to go up on the top. Got to open up the old hatch. And then you lift up this little piece of carpet right here. And we actually have a toolkit here that Nissan kind of stuck back in here. And you can see mine is missing some nuts and bolts that you can actually have, accessories. But on the bottom here, if I take this off on here, the little nut, and once we get that out of the way, we lift this up here, and there's where the jack is stowed away. So kind of nice to have this. We don't have to actually put this on the side or anything. We actually got cubby holes here we can put things in. So that's kind of nice here. The only thing I don't have is the original jack handle that goes in here. And I actually had to make that hole just a little bit bigger in order for it to work inside of this. But maybe that's something I'll hunt up a little bit later. And also came with this Torx bit here, which will let you adjust the rack on the roof if you ever need to do anything with that. So as we close that up and lower the carpet there, one other thing, you can see we have some tow hooks there. If you want to put something back here in the back, you can just simply hook in here and tie things down. There's the back seats. They do fold down. There is the headliner in really good shape. I did replace it when I first got it. It was in pretty bad shape. And these are the original struts that actually hold up the trunk, which is pretty nice. They actually still work. Of course, we just grab the handle. If you're tall like me, we'll just go ahead and shut the trunk and give it another nice look there. She does look good. All right, let's go inside and see what we got here. We have a very clean vehicle. We have a bench seat here that we can fold down in really good shape. The cloth is in good shape. And also we have these little short headrests there for your head if you're sitting in the back. And also we have a cigarette lighter here adapter. We can plug something in. Now this does have a cup holder here, but obviously these get broken a lot with the people sitting back in here. So that's the only thing here that I see that is an issue. And also we have little pockets back here, especially on the passenger side. Driver side, nope, you don't get one. And this is a plain Jane vehicle. It has hand crank windows. A lot of people like these. If you're going to be out with some family, some friends, you want to go out and have some fun, well, you got handles back here you can hold on. You got one there on that side and you got one on this side. So yeehaw, let's have a little fun. And while we're in the back, also we have a little cubby hole there. You can put something in there. So go up to the front here and see what we got. Very clean conditions. You see no rust on the rocker panels, which is kind of nice for a Northeast vehicle. Kind of hard to find these around like that. We have a handle in the front here If you're old and you got to get in, like me, well, there you go. And you even have one right there. So 4 handles. So this thing is built for a little bit of fun. Of course, on the passenger side, you get a little bit of a sun visor. You get one on this side too. No mirror though, but you got a mirror right there if you want to see how pretty you are. Now this one here, I did put my own radio in. This is a touch screen. Paid about $150 for it. The original radio was in it. You couldn't read. There's a lot of problems with these Nissan Xterras. The screens get so dim. It's just impossible to read. But this thing here works really well. There is a gauge package, pretty standard. We got the RPM speedometer there, and we got a temperature gauge and a fuel gauge, which is really nice. That's what I like to see in these vehicles. I like to keep an eye on that temperature, especially on a hot day. So we do have dual airbags for a 2002, one on this side, and we got one for the passenger side. Also, the heating and cooling system is pretty standard here. You got your floor vent, you got your vents, regular vents, and you got your air conditioning or your vents for the windshield, and you got a 4-speed fan system set up here. Got an AC button and a recirculating button. Now we do also have a cigarette lighter, which is nice there, a little guy you can plug something into. And over in the center here, we got that guy there you can fold up. You can put something there. You think we're done? No, we're not done. Check this out. Fold this up. And also we have more cubbyhole space and another 12-volt DC plug for maybe one of your chargers or whatever. We got a couple cubby holes here for cup holders, so forth, if you need to put your drink in the middle. This is an automatic 4-speed with overdrive, 4-wheel drive. To put this in 4-wheel drive, you pretty much got to slow down to about 4 to 5 miles an hour. And all you do is simply pull this back, you'll feel clunk, green light comes on, and you're ready to climb that mountain. Now, when I first got the vehicle, we have a lot of rain in the Northeast, a lot of cloudy gray days sometimes, and I was always annoyed with the windshield wipers. It didn't have no automatic wipers. I had to turn them on, turn them off, turn them on, so I went out and got something out of another vehicle. I actually got this out of a Nissan Xterra, I believe it was a 2002. Now I have delay wipers and all that, and it bolted right up. Still, don't have power windows, but hey, what am I complaining about? It rides good, it gets me where I want to go, and it's not all that bad on gas. With the stereo system that I have in it, we do have 4 speakers. We have one there, one there. We have a little tweeter there that works. One in the back on the right-hand side, I should say, on the right front. All right, let's start her up and see what she sounds like. In goes the key. Let's turn her, and boom, she starts right up. All check engines lights are off. Now sometimes I do have an ABS light that blinks on and off, but we think it's probably maybe something to do with the G sensor. I've replaced it, still a little issue, but sometimes it'll come on maybe a day, turn it off, shut it off, turn the key back on, goes off. May not come on for a week, it may come on 5 minutes later, you just never know. And right now we are sitting at a beautiful 222,920 miles. And the hood release on this is actually right here. Boom. Sometimes you can pull on the right and open up your gas lid, so sometimes it gets a little confusing. And there it is, a 3.3. Now they do make some of these supercharged. I've never had a supercharged. Matter of fact, I haven't even seen one. They're kind of rare now. You can see it's purring like a kitten. I've had to do a little bit of work to it. First got it, I put new head gaskets on it. I did do the timing belt. Did do the air conditioning pump. Brand new alternator just because I wanted a new one on here. You can kind of see it down there, kind of shiny. And also, we got a brand new starter on this thing. That's why this thing starts up just like that. Now, after I started driving it, I did have an issue with the catalytic converter. I did go ahead and replace both of them. I had a PO420 code. One cat was good, but I decided to replace them in pairs, and it has not been an issue. It has run flawlessly since. And other stickers on the hood, this is a VG33E 3.3. Here we got the brake fluid, and we're looking at the power steering unit right here for the fluid. As we take off the cap here, really no blow by, pretty clean, dry, good little running engine. All right, some downsides to this engine. If you ever want to change the NOx sensor, you actually got to take off the intake and unbolt it from the top of the engine block. Mine, well, I went through all that, and there she sits, nice and pretty. I never have to worry about that again. Spark plugs on this side. If you want to change those out, not a big deal. This side, it gets a little sketchy. You got these very long plug wires that go down here. You have to pretty much get you an extension, a magnet, get in there and get the spark plugs. Number 6 in the back there, well, let's just say it's a little tight. You really got to have some patience or have a lot of coffee in the morning and be in a good mood to get that one, because that one there can get you into a little bit of trouble. Other than that, Really not all that hard in working on these vehicles. And the cooling system, well, no problem. It never overheats. The temperature stays right where it should on the gauge. And of course, we got the air cleaner right here. And here's a look at the back of the engine there, and you can see how well and put together it is. Nothing is missing. It is all back the way it was from the factory. No mods, no nothing. Just the way it was built. Front, the windshield washer fluid, and a lot of time these things fly off. I usually drill a little hole right there. Take a piece of fishing line, drill a little hole there, put that on there, and you'll never have to worry about that blowing off. Now, the only other thing I had to do body-wise when I got it, replace this front support here for the bottom of the radiator. These are very common, very easy to replace. You can actually buy the whole kit for these, and you can see that one in there is pretty nice and good shape now. Been driving it all winter, no problem, so that's something you might want to look for when you pick up one of these. Don't think you will find very many of these in really good shape in the Northeast. Pretty typical because you get all this rust, ice, and snow, wet water that gets up in here, sits in here, and it will rust this out. Mine, I have this massive skid plate there on the bottom of mine. Of course, I got a bolt missing right there. Not a big deal. Really no oil leaks. Taking care of all that. Like I said, I put a little bit of money into this vehicle. It's either that or buy a new one, pay $50,000 for a new vehicle, and $500 or $600 a month for insurance. That it's paid for, and my insurance is about $40 a month on this vehicle, so I'm really happy. I'm loving it. And if you're a penny pincher like me, you want a nice vehicle to get you around, this is the way to go. Buy you something used, learn to work on it, save yourself money, and also have a little pride in what you do. Also, the transmission fluid dipstick is right here. Kind of a weird setup. They have these little rods there. It's a little stick there, and you can see you got a hot mark and you got a cold mark. Not much of a difference in level there, and you can see it is in really good shape there. No problems whatsoever. The fluid is nice and red, pinkish. Transmission shifts perfect. All right, let's take her out on the highway and see how she rides. All right, so we'll get in it. There's the steering wheel. There's my belly. Check it out. Lots of room. Don't feel cramped whatsoever. Let's get our seatbelt on. Let's put her in gear. And let's take her for a ride. All right, we're taking off. There's first gear. There's second. And there's third. So we'll get out here on the highway. Let's see how she really takes off. Okay, here we go. There's 30, 40. Whee! She runs pretty good. She may not be the fastest thing in the world, but I tell you what, she's not going to win any races, but it's a lot of fun out in the country. Yeah. And right there, we're cruising about 55, but I tell you, you can't really beat these vehicles. These things have been around, and they are coming back. They're pretty popular now with guys building them up, taking them out in the country, turning them in four-rollers. They are just tough because of the frame, but you can see, yeah, she runs really good. And you can see that even the dash is in really good shape on this thing. I've actually got some nice stuff on it to kind of keep it from cracking. That's why it's a little shiny, but overall it looks really good, especially when you first get in it and realize, hey, it's my baby and she's paid for and I have lots of money left over. Now, while we're cruising down the highway, one thing you got to remember, these things only hold 3.5 quarts of oil. If you overfill them, it's going to cause problems, and it could blow out the oil pan seal gasket and cause you all kind of oil problems, so just be aware of that. All right, we'll pull over here. I'll demonstrate the four-wheel drive system. And as you can see, I was talking about the ABS light. Well, see there, come back on. Now, if I shut the vehicle off, take the key out, put the key back in, restart it, pretty much stays off and goes out. Really, it's kind of a weird thing, but this is something I've learned to deal with. All right, so let's demonstrate the four-wheel drive. Put it in neutral. We'll just kind of pull back on the handle one click, and you'll see right there a little light come on the dash right there, a little green light. Put her down and drive, and now we are in four-wheel drive. Of course, you don't want to be driving it in four-wheel drive on the pavement like this, but I'm going straight just to demonstrate you guys how it works. And you can see the little green light is on. Now take it out four-wheel drive. You just simply push up on the handle, and really a lot of times you don't even have to stop and you just keep on going. It's when you slow down and you put this in four-wheel drive, you got to really slow down to 4 miles an hour. That is the key. But other than that, now we can cruise on down the highway. Like I said, it's not going to win any races, but if you love being out in the country and just looking at the beautiful scenery around your area, and you just want to come out and take your time and just kind of have a nice Sunday leisure afternoon, this is the way to do it. And as for the brakes, well, they will stop on a dime. And also, I don't have any power seats. I just have the manual hand levers here, which is fine, and they do recline all the way back. So if you're on a trip and you want to pull in the rest area and take a nice little leisurely nap, you can do that. With the seat all the way back, I'm 6'3", and I still have room here to touch the gas pedal. So this is a tall man's vehicle, I guess you could say. All right, so I think we covered about everything here. You know, there's obviously little things that go wrong with any vehicle. Oil leaks, small leaks. If you keep those up, even fix them, you can actually maintain the value of your vehicle. You may not make a lot of money, but if you ever trade it off, you can certainly get your money back out of it, perhaps even break even. And of course, I painted these red on the back center cap there and the front one here just to make it look a little better. Give it a little eye candy appeal to Xterra lovers. And as we take a look at it here one more time, as we walk around, you can see it's been a very good vehicle to me. I've had it over 1.5 years, and you can see everything on it is fairly factory. No mods, I should say. Everything is stock. It's been a very good snow vehicle. The only thing you got to watch out in the wintertime is if you're going up a hill and you don't have it in four-wheel drive, the back end will get out from under you. We'll do a 360, so you got to be careful of that. I found out a few times that in the wintertime. If you're going to be in the ice and snow, best thing to do is just put it in four-wheel drive and just have fun. That's what it was built for. This is why these things are around still. People are keeping them. They're not scrapping them at the junkyard. They're putting a little money into it and realizing that if you put a little work into something, keep it up, you can be just as happy as spending $50,000 on a new vehicle, which will do the same thing. So hopefully I've covered just about everything you want to know about the Nissan Xterra. It's been a great vehicle. I plan to keep it just a little bit longer and enjoy it and have fun with it. So, hey, let me know where you're watching from right now. And guys, until my next video, I will see you later.